Let's shift focus on to this now. And South Africa continues to battle the spread of COVID-19. The Department of Correctional Services has reported at least 78 cases. An employee in Limpopo prison is complaining about inefficient COVID-19 measures taken to safeguard the livelihoods of workers there. Let's speak to my colleague Seho Hajo Moahi to get more details on this. And Seho, the Katuma Sintumele Correctional Services Center is facing allegations from employees. What are they saying?
Well, good afternoon, Dudu. So some of the allegations that have been made against this particular correctional center in Limpopo is that they do not have, that wardens and even the inmates do not have any they do not have any masks and they don't have any gloves either. They're saying that there have been no tests that have been done in that particular prison, and they are saying that when they do wear the masks, I got information from one of the employees there saying that he wore a mask to work and he was told by management to take it off because he's scaring the inmates in the prison, and they are thinking that he's then bringing COVID-19 to the prison. They were also told that all inmates have been tested, and they will then only be tested if need be, or if anybody actually shows any form of any signs or symptoms of the coronavirus. These are, of course, the employees there. So they are saying that they feel like there is no form of urgency when it comes to their care and their safety really within this prison.
Have we been able to establish a response from correctional services on the matter?
Absolutely. So when I spoke to Singabako Nxumalo from the correctional services, he mentioned that the issue with that particular prison is that it's quite interesting that they're actually making these allegations. The employees are making these allegations because that particular correctional facility was one of the first to receive the PPEs, and they ensured that all correctional facilities actually have PPEs. But they are saying that they will be investigating this matter further just to try and get an understanding as to what exactly is happening. And they are saying that the issue of employees not wearing masks or employees being told to take off their masks, they will also be looking into that, because that cannot be the case, especially when we are being told more and more that people can now wear masks in public, and they are saying that this cannot be the case at all. They are hoping that things will be sorted out. And the issue as well is around most of those, the employees actually scared to speak to anybody about this matter because they are fearing being victimized, and they are fearing losing their jobs. So very few of them were able to speak, but definitely not on camera.
So a myriad of factors playing themselves out there, but we also know that the issue of social distancing could be quite a problem at correctional facilities. So what's the plan going forward?
Well, the plan by the Department of Correctional Services is to ensure that there definitely is some kind of social distancing. I mean, you would understand that when I spoke to Singabako, he actually mentioned that a prison in itself, it has a form of social distancing, but this is only when inmates are actually in their cells, not necessarily when they are out or doing activities outside. But they are saying that they will definitely be ensuring that there is some form of social distancing. They are concerned about certain areas and the issue of overcrowding in certain prisons. They mentioned 3 prisons within the country that actually have a bit of overcrowding. But they are saying that if people do test positive, then they are moved to another area just to ensure that they isolate. And if a person is at home with family, then correctional services takes it upon themselves to actually move them to a particular area or a particular facility to ensure that they can self-isolate, and that they do not bring any danger to the fellow employees and also to the inmates. But like I mentioned, I did have a conversation with Singabako, and this is what he had to say.
Correctional centers by nature are isolated centers. So if you're able to block the virus from going inside there, you've won the battle. But unfortunately, that's not the reality. We then have to say, okay, we do have big numbers, but where are these big numbers? These big numbers are only in the metros, your Johannesburg, Hoshmampuru, St. Albans. When you go on the outskirts, there is no overcrowding there. But we then said, okay, in the centers where you have big numbers, that's where we then procured PACOMs to say they must assist us, for quarantine purposes and for isolation purposes, because there will be no need to move inmates when all of them are without the virus. So you will keep them there. But what we also did was to identify cells where we've made space that we'll use for quarantine, in the meantime, in case, the park homes are not yet there, but at least now many of them have been delivered. But also, whilst they were awaiting results, then, because it will not assist moving people to those park homes when they're still waiting for the results, because what if all of them are negative? It means that we must move them back in, and that movement on its own will also be a challenge. So that's how we're managing the situation, to say where we have big numbers, we're augmenting with these park homes. But the critical point for us is that prevention measures, must be enforced so that we can block any possible transmission of the virus.
Every sector being impacted here. Thank you very much to my colleague Tsogohajo Moagi with the latest on the Kutanama Sintumule Correctional Center situation.